Joshua chapter 6. And Jericho was closed up and fortified from before the sons of Israel. And no one went forth from out of it, and neither entered. And the Lord said to Joshua, Behold, I deliver up to you Jericho, to you under your hand, and its king in it, and the mighty ones in strength. And let all men of war circle the city, round about the city, once. Thus they shall do for 6 days. And 7 priests shall take 7 horns of the ram before the ark. And on the 7th day circle the city 7 times, and the priests shall trump the horns. And it will be, as whenever you should trump the trumpet of the ram, in your hearing the sound of the horn, let all the people shout aloud. And with their shouting, the walls of the city shall fall by themselves underneath them, and all the people shall enter, each advancing in front into the city. And Joshua the son of Nun entered to the priests and said to them, You take the ark of the covenant, and 7 priests shall take 7 horns of the ram, according to the front of the ark of the Lord. And he said to them, saying, Exhort the people to go around and circle the city, and let the ones for combat come near, arming themselves before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, as Joshua spoke to the people, that the 7 priests, having 7 consecrated trumpets, also went by likewise before the Lord. They passed and signified fervently. And the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed after them, and the ones for combat came near in front. And the priests were trumpeting the horns, and the rest of the multitude altogether, after the ark of the covenant of the Lord, ones going and trumpeting with the horns. And to the people Joshua gave charge, saying, Do not yell, nor let any one hear your voice. There shall not go through from out of your mouth a word, until whenever he himself declares the day to yell out, and you shall yell out then. And the ark of the covenant of God, having gone the city round about, immediately they went forth into the camp, and spent the night there. And on the 2nd day Joshua rose up in the morning, and the priests lifted the ark of the Lord. And the 7 priests, bringing the 7 consecrated trumpets before the ark, the Lord, went forth. And the priests were trumping the trumpets. And after these, the ones for combat entered. And the remaining multitude altogether were behind the ark of the covenant of the Lord, going and trumping with the horns. And they encircled the city on the 2nd day, once near to it. And they went forth again into the camp. So it was done for 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day, the expedition rose up at dawn, and they went around the city according to this practice 7 times. Only on that day they encircled the city 7 times. And it came to pass, in the 7th circuit, the priests trumped with trumpets, and Joshua said to the sons of Israel, Cry out, for the Lord delivered up the city to you, and the city will be an offering for consumption, it and all as much as is in it, to the Lord of the forces. Except Rahab the harlot, protect her, and all as much as is of hers in the house, for she hid the messengers whom we sent. But you guard from the offering for consumption, lest at any time pondering you should take of the offering for consumption, and should make the camp of the sons of Israel an offering for consumption, and he should obliterate us. and all silver, or gold, and all brass and iron will be holy to the Lord. It shall be carried into the treasury of the Lord. And the people shouted, and the priests trumped the trumpets. And as the people heard the sound of the trumpets, all the people shouted a great and strong shout. And the wall fell round about, and the people ascended into the city, each at his opposite, and overtook the city. And they devoted it to consumption, and as much as was in the city, from man and unto woman, from young and unto old, and unto calf and sheep and beast of burden, by the mouth of the broadsword. And to the 2 young men spying out the land, Joshua said, You enter into the house of the woman, the harlot, and lead her from there, and all as much as is with her, as you swore by an oath to her. And the 2 young men entered, the ones spying out the city, into the house of the woman. And they led out Rahab the harlot, and her father, and her mother, and her brothers, and all as much as was to her, and her kin. And they placed her outside the camp of Israel. And the city was burned by fire with all the things in it. Except the silver and gold and all brass and iron, they yielded up to be carried into the treasury. And Rahab the harlot, and all the house of her father, and all the things of hers Joshua took alive. And she dwelt in Israel until the day today, for she hid the ones spying, whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua bound them by an oath in that day, saying, Accursed is the man who before the Lord, who shall raise up or shall build that city Jericho. With his firstborn he will lay the foundation for it, and with the least of his he shall set the gates of it. And the Lord was with Joshua, and his name was in all the land.